Years ago, starting in the 1850s, on the frontier, there lived two families, the Hatfields and the McCoys. Going back to the Civil War, the heads of both families, Devil-Anse Hatfield and Randolph McCoy, were war friends. In fact, one of them saved the other's life. But things soon soured after the war when Harmon McCoy was killed in cold blood by Jim Hatfield for switching to the Union side. This incident brewed bad feelings between the two families and were intensified further when Randolph McCoy accused the Hatfields of stealing one of their pigs, which was a major offense back then. Things continued to snowball into an intense feud between them, causing much bloodshed.
We gathered together today to try the three McCoy boys, Tolbert, Farmer, and Bud, on the murder of Ellison Hatfield. Will the witness please state their name and backstory?
My name is Johnson Hatfield, otherwise known as Jones. I'm the son of William Anderson Devil-Anse Hatfield and Legacy Chaffin, and I'm one of 13. My family is well known for Devil-Anse Hatfield timber operation. My family moved from Virginia to Kentucky, and now we reside in West Virginia. My father and great-uncle Jim Vance are the ones who decided to lead us in the so-called feud. Life was so hard before this, and now it's even worse. Our friends are now our foes. I see why this has started, but it has gone too far. This time last year, I just had to worry about protecting the family from illnesses and food shortages. Now I have to protect them from gunfights. It's difficult.
Thank you, son. Now you, ma'am.
Roseanne McCoy is the name. That's Roseanna. I would just like to state that I in no way want to partake in this horrible mess. I might have been hurting from the recent betrayal of the only man I ever loved, but I never commanded any action be taken against him. I'm a simple pregnant teenager that's looking for no more trouble than the next fella. But it stalled with my relationship, so I guess I ought to explain the situation.
Around the 1880s, Rosanna McCoy and Johnson Hatfield entered a courtship, hoping to mend the broken bonds between the families and out of a forbidden love for each other. Rosanna abandoned her family to live with the Hatfields. Eventually, she moved back to her family, but the two attempted to keep their relationship intact. The McCoys arrested Johnson for bootlegging, yet Rosanna betrayed her family and informed Devil-Anse Hatfield of the situation. The Hatfields intervened and took Johnson back.
Even after all my sacrifice for this man, he left me, forgetting that I'm the one who provided him with his freedom to move. He left me pregnant and scared to marry my cousin Nancy.
Do you have any contact with Johnson Hatfield after this incident?
No, sir, I did not. I pay for my own food and health, both of which difficult to afford when you are expecting. But I refuse to let this man affect my life, and though I have bitter feelings against him, I never had any intention to harm the Hatfield family. I just want them to leave us alone. Because of this, I spent a lot of time by myself. Every day I did what a normal girl would do. Since I left everything behind when we traveled here, I sewed a lot of my own clothes. I wasn't used to the new style of shorter skirts and narrower sleeves. The time that I spent doing this really helped me get my mind off him.
All right. Thank you, Rosanna. Next, I should hear from one of the accused. Please state your name and explain yourself.
The next three men, Bud, Tolbert, and Farmer, brutally murdered Ellison Hatfield, stabbing him 27 times and finishing him with a fatal shot in the year 1882. They figure that after the commotion with arresting Johnson, it was better to aim for a less public target.
Name's Bud McCoy, younger brother of Rosanna McCoy, who decided to take upon herself to make the claim that we did it for her. Let me say that sure, ain't no doubt I did it. I would do it again. But I did not kill Ellison Hatfield with my brothers just to get back at Jones. It goes all the way back to that squealing little pig. Cattle ain't easy to get and certainly cost a lot. So when they threatened to take my fortune of pork away from me, I was not happy. I need to make a profit, and mountain farming isn't just enough sometimes. So I killed that man, but not only for my sister, for the pig also. You may be guilty of the crime as you say, but there are others to be tried. So if the other two McCoys would state their names and explanations, please.
Farmer McCoy with a PH, also the youngest sibling of Rosanna, and I don't got much to say besides I did it. I killed Ellison Hatfield and he deserved every bit of it. Even if he didn't break my sister's heart and steal our pig, his last name is reason enough. Ain't got much to argue about, most of it's been said already, but you Hatfields better watch out.
This is not the time or place for threats, Mr. McCoy. I warn you to keep any personal thoughts to yourself. Well, 2 men plead guilty, 1 man to go. Your name and explanation, son?
Told Bert McCoy my explanation is previously stated all jumbled into one. Being a young teen on the frontier ain't easy. You must hunt for your food, grow your food, and make your food. You must know what foods grow best and when, like corn in the summer. You have daily chores, cattle tending, and finding a special lady to make a family with, not to mention your own blood family to worry about. The Hatfields added one more joint of stress in my life, and taking them down one by one was the only solution to get them out of my way. And that's any and all explaining I will do.
In the end, the three were found guilty after being tried and suffered a lifetime imprisonment sentence. That is until the Hatfields captured the three and murdered them for revenge. It took until 1896 for the feud to stop. Life on the American frontier was always difficult with the hard labor and dependence on the growth of crops. Teenage life was especially hard because they had to deal with the quarrels in their daily social life, daily chores, and the survival of their family was usually on their shoulders. Even at a young age, things were never easy on the frontier, whether or not you were a Hatfield or McCoy.
Today, Americans live a life full of fighting due to others' actions. The Hatfields and McCoys definitely made an impact when it comes to today's fighting. They had the first feud that affected many generations after themselves. Many generations remember this fighting and have actually used it for modern-day story plots. The game show Family Feud was even based around the Hatfields and McCoys. Numerous amount of different things today are a result of this fighting also. For example, America has a large number of gangs. These gangs fight against one another usually for idiotic reasons, which was exactly what the Hatfields and McCoys did. Gang fights nowadays can sometimes lead to killings, but our government doesn't tolerate this act of violence. In the times of the Hatfields and McCoys, their government wasn't formed as well as ours. Because of this, a lot of the killings did not lead to trials. Life now is certainly different from the American frontier time period, but it has some effect on our lives today.